A restaurant taken over by the spirit of the Griswold Family Christmas? That can't be real, can it? Oh, it's real, and I need to tell you about it, starting right now. We decided to do a family trip to the Outer Banks during Thanksgiving week. And given that I have a lot of Outer Banks content here on the channel, I wanted to check out a place called Banks Brewing Station on this visit. That place has been recommended going pretty much all the way back to the very first video on the Outer Banks that I posted here on the channel. Now also, my wife was looking for something kind of Christmas themed to do on Black Friday, and she came across this promotion called the 12 Bars of Christmas. And that's where between Black Friday and New Year's Eve, a dozen bars and restaurants convert into like a Christmas theme. And she noted that this place that I wanted to check out, Outer Banks Brewing Station, was on that list, and that they actually transform into National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation themed restaurant. Now, given that this is one of my favorite holiday movies of all time, one of the ones that I have to watch every year, this was pretty much a no-brainer, but I really never expected it to be everything it actually was. So this is from their actual website from the 12 Bars of Christmas. The brewery becomes a full-blown Griswold family wonderland, decked out from floor to ceiling with lights, laughter, and a heavy dose of holiday chaos, the good kind. Get ready for a month-long celebration filled with holiday cocktails, seasonal dishes, and the kind of over-the-top decor that would make Clark Griswold proud. Whether you're stopping by for a festive drink, bringing the kids for a family-friendly event, or simply soaking up the sparkle, Christmas Vacation Station is where holiday memories are made. When I saw it with my own eyes, I was truly blown away. Even the sign on the street was changed for the event. When I went inside, I was super overwhelmed. Giant screenshots from the film, including one from my favorite line, where Clark asks Eddie, "Can I refill your eggnog?" There's one of the shocked face when the house lights finally come on after Clark is struggling with it for all that time. And of course, the disaster turkey meal. I will say, just given everything I've heard about Outer Banks Brewing Station, that I had some high hopes that the food wasn't going to be a disaster. And just as an aside, scanning through the other 12 Bars of Christmas that do this, I totally would have checked out McAllister's Corner, obviously themed after Home Alone. We just didn't have time. Maybe next time we're down in OBX during the holidays, because this was super fun. Now, when we arrived around 11:30 a.m., there were a decent handful of tables occupied at that time, but by the time that we ordered around 11:50, the restaurant was full, including some pretty large parties of families kind of all dressed in matching holiday clothes. I've really never experienced anything like this, and given how the day after Thanksgiving is usually pretty slow as far as food and restaurants go, you know, between everybody being busy shopping or preoccupied with leftovers, I was honestly shocked at how busy it got so early. All of that holiday cheer and also sitting in a shrine to one of my favorite movies was honestly really moving, and I say this as a pretty unexcitable guy. I was really feeling the holiday spirit at that moment. But this is Outer Banks Brewing Station after all, so some beer was a must. And when I looked at the beer menu, I noticed that even the beers kind of were themed after National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So in order to kind of cover all my bases, I did a flight, 4 beers for $12. I'm gonna go into each of them separately here. The first one was It's a Beaut Ulsh, kind of riffing off of She's a Beaut Clock. This one's 4.8% alcohol and the one that they claim they've been doing since the beginning, so I guess it's their signature beer. It was very good. Honestly, this style beer is not really my favorite. I'm more of an IPA guy, and we'll get to one of those in a minute. Next up, we had Uncle Eddie ESB, Extra Special Bitter. That one, 5.5% alcohol. This one, they say, has some English malts. Again, not exactly my favorite style beer, but I honestly ordered this more for the name than anything. Definitely bitter. Definitely one of those ones where I probably wouldn't go back for that one. There was Griswold White IPA, which was pretty freaking tasty. Hazy White India Pale Ale, brewed and dry hopped with Centennial hops for a festive finish. I didn't get anything festive out of this, but it was very tasty. And then my favorite named one was the Burn Rubber Oyster Stout, which is an American stout, 6.8% alcohol by volume, and they say an American stout brewed with local oysters from Little Star Oyster Farm with rich dark chocolate flavors rounded out with a subtly salty and briny finish. Now, I didn't really read these carefully while I was there, but thinking back, I don't think I got much of like a briny finish, but it was definitely like an interesting stout. Again, stout is not my style, but I do kind of like higher alcohol by volume beers, so I did enjoy this quite a lot, but maybe not for the reasons that they say you're supposed to. And they also had cocktails, and you know I had to try a sip of Cassie's Jelly of the Month Sangria. That's obviously a reference to the movie. This was tasty, but not really my thing. I gotta give them props though, because there actually is a winery that they're working with for a special 12 Wines of Christmas blend that's called Sanctuary Vineyards, and they use that as well as brandy, Cointreau, some fruit juices, some apple orange. It was pretty good. Again, not my thing though. There was also a specials menu that had food that was also themed after this 12 Bars of Christmas Vacation Vacation Station event. Honestly though, the individual items on this didn't sound as good to me as some of the stuff on their regular menu, so I did stick to mostly regular menu. But I did want to check out the fritters, but I wanted to try those because they say it was inspired by the cat that got electrocuted under the Christmas tree, an unfortunate but kind of funny moment in the movie. These are essentially crab and corn fritters served with remoulade sauce. Also interesting, the more you look around this restaurant, the more you'll find little subtle decor things. This one I guess wasn't subtle. There was that electrocuted cat kind of light fixture all around the place, including over the bar. And there was so much going on in terms of decorations inspired by the movie where I don't even think I caught all of them. The fritters themselves were pretty freaking tasty, pretty much like a hush puppy with some watery pops from the fresh corn and a little bit of that brininess from the crab, like that taste of the sea. This honestly reminded me a little bit more of like a Maryland crab cake than a hush puppy, like something I've had in Baltimore. But that outer shell that was nice and crispy like a hush puppy threw me off. It was a fun little snacker. The remoulade for dipping was super nice. Pretty good. Now, long before I knew anything about this Christmas Vacation Station, I had my eyes on the menu, and the specific item that I had my eyes on were the fried jalapeno cheese curds. So I had to order those. And I don't know what took someone so long to batter and fry pepper jack cheese, because it was frickin' delicious. The small flaw with these is that they were slightly oily and a little soggy, kind of greasy, but I think that's because pepper jack is kind of an oily cheese that melts at a kind of low temperature, quicker than a mozzarella. The breading though I thought was pretty tasty, and next time I come, I'm sneaking in a jar of our famous Melba sauce from this area here, where we dip mozzarella sticks in a really sweet raspberry sauce, because that would be a really great pairing with those spicy cheese curds. I also got a sandwich, specifically the North Carolina barbecue pork sandwich, and on the menu they say, smoking good North Carolina vinegar-based pulled pork with a house-made coleslaw. Now, on all my visits to the Outer Banks in North Carolina, I shockingly haven't had a lot of barbecue, so my expectations here were pretty low. I did love the presentation of this, where they had everything separate and you get to assemble it yourself. That at the moment assembly allowed it so that the kind of watery pork and coleslaw didn't really sog into the bun too much. The pork had a lot of tang and was nice and juicy, definitely not dry at all. That said, I may be accustomed to more sweet barbecue, so I could have used a touch of something a little bit sweeter on there, like a sweeter barbecue sauce. But I will say that that slaw, it was nice and creamy and definitely fresh. It really helped to kind of break up that vinegariness of the pork. Honestly, for 13 bucks, pretty damn good. This is definitely great food to soak up some beer. The fries honestly were really spectacular. With all this food, I didn't really come close to finishing it, but it was pretty damn tasty. I did, however, finish the beers, which I'm not going to say affected my judgment at all, but I had to commemorate the visit by picking up the shirt. They actually had a few designs inspired by this 12 Bars of Christmas event, and I figured who knows when the next time I'll be able to do this is, so why the hell not? This was a really great showing for Outer Banks Brewing Station. I think if I would have gone without the Christmas Vacation Station theme, I probably would have also liked it, but I definitely wouldn't have felt that same magic of walking around the restaurant, seeing those large murals from the movie and all the decorations, as well as the energy of being around all those families who are getting into the holiday spirit. And it's pretty amazing because we were rolling from Thanksgiving into the Christmas season, and honestly, I feel like Black Friday is a little bit more of a commercialized holiday, so seeing families together in a communal space with a holiday theme, it was pretty touching. This was a truly fun experience. If you enjoyed this, hit the thumbs up and subscribe for more food content. I hope you and your family have a very happy holiday. For more of my OBX adventures, click into one of the videos on your screen right now. Thanks for watching.